Peace and welcome. Today we have our favorite death themes and death jingles in video games. With Halloween right around the corner, we thought it's a perfect time. Our guidelines today include a death theme or jingle of a player or NPC. It should happen pretty much right after someone dies in the game. Not a game over theme, unless the game over happens every time the player dies. Not a continue theme, and of course, one per franchise. With that out of the way, let's get this started. Our first up today, at number 10, comes from the Batman video game. First released in 1989 for the Japanese Famicom, with the North American and European versions releasing in 1990. Developed and published by Sunsoft. And when it comes to Sunsoft and the NES, it's a perfect combo. Sunsoft hired composers that really know how to work with the limitation of the sound chips they used. They loved to utilize that PCM channel and the percussion samples. Just listen to that jingle again, it doesn't even sound like it's from the NES, because of those samples. Our number 9 spot comes from Uncharted Waters, New Horizons. A game with a great soundtrack, and that seems to be a common trait among the games on our list today. It's as simple as hire a skilled composer, get good music, including the jingles. This theme is featured on a few different consoles, but my personal favorite is probably from the Super Nintendo. And it doesn't sound natural, but it sounds more natural than its Sega Genesis counterpart. Our number 8 spot is held by Pitfall. First released in 1982 on the Atari 2600, with later versions coming out on various consoles. The game didn't even have background music during the gameplay, but they did add a death jingle. That could be one of the reasons why it's so memorable. It's one of the only tunes in the entire game. Our lucky number 7 position is held by Donkey Kong Country. Some death themes and jingles give off a very dark vibe, and some even make you feel bad for dying. But this one does neither. For being a death jingle, it has a very upbeat feel. It almost makes me think it's saying, "Nice try, give it another shot." It's a fitting theme for Donkey Kong Country. It's not too dark, but then at the same time, it's not too joyous. First, we have a spoiler alert. If you haven't played The Last of Us and want to avoid any spoilers, skip to the time on the screen. Otherwise, in at number 6, we have The Last of Us, one titled All Gone.
Sarah! Move your hands, babe. I know, baby, I know. God. Listen to me, I know this hurts, baby. You're gonna be okay, baby. Stay with me. All right, I'm gonna pick you up. I know, baby, I know it hurts. Come on, baby, please. I know, baby, I know.
This tune appears near the beginning of the game. Maybe around 10 to 15 minutes in, there's an unexpected death. And it's actually quite heartbreaking. The theme that plays has a very somber and sobering feeling. When I say sobering, I mean it brings you back to the harsh reality of life and death. Our number 5 spot is held by one of my personal favorites, Gaiden on the NES. In my opinion, this game has an extremely underrated soundtrack. It's one of the video game vinyls that I actually own, and the release is very well done. It has high quality art, lots of bonus material, and even a box to hold a double LP set. Gaiden is known for its difficulty, so if you have not played it and want to give it a shot, expect to hear this little jingle quite a bit. Unlucky number 4 comes from Metal Gear Solid. So this one includes Snake dying, the notification sound, and the screaming. All of that make up for one of the more memorable death sequences. If you have played Metal Gear Solid, then you have heard this, and you have probably heard it quite a few times. Metal Gear Solid was released in 1998 for the PS1, and it's the 4th game in the franchise. However, I think it's the best death jingle in the series.
Snake! What happened? Snake! Snake!
In our bronze position, we have an 8-bit classic, The Legend of Zelda. Originally released for the Famicom Disk System in 1986, in Japan only. However, that one has a different sound effect, and it sounds like this. We are talking about the NES version. Released August 22nd, 1987 in North America, it went on to sell 6.5 million copies worldwide. So you know this sound was heard all over the world by kids of different ages. Our silver position today comes from the original Pac-Man. Released in 1980, making it the oldest game on our list today. In addition, this game has enjoyed ports to well over 20 computers, consoles, and even smartphones. I think this could be the most heard death tune in arcades for the entire decade of the 80s. There are some variations of the jingle in the franchise, but this original one definitely stands out most for me. Before we get to our honorable mentions, we have a quick dishonorable mention. And this one goes to all disc-based systems. But we chose the PS2, and the red screen of death. Quite possibly the worst death sound in all of video games, when your console dies on you.
We're hot. Guess what? You're not.
You are dead, dead, dead.
In our gold position today, we have the classic Super Mario Bros. Death Jingle. From the original Mario Bros. Game on the NES released in 1985, this one has stood the test of time. Not only is it from one of the best-selling video games of all time, but it's still in use today. You can turn on the Nintendo Switch, boot up some Mario Maker 2, and hear it all over again and again, like it's 1985. How many franchises from the 80s are still going and still use the same tunes and same sound effects from nearly 40 years ago? Well, Super Mario Bros. Is definitely one. Up next, we have our top 10 haunted themes. Think ghosts, clowns, and evil carnivals. But before that, we gotta give a shout out to Golden Tier patrons: Bear Sana, Quantum X, MJJ, and Shadow Juste. I am ICC. Thanks for watching. Peace.